മോക്ക് ടെസ്റ്റിൻ്റെ പുതിയ വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് തൊഴിൽ വീതിയിൽ വന്ന ജൂനിയർ ലാബ് അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് പ്രാക്ടീസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആണ്. Question number 1. Point of contact where one neuron communicates with another. Point of contact where one neuron communicates with another. Option A, axon. Option B, dendrites. Option C, synapse. Option D, cytone. The point of contact where one neuron communicates with another. The correct answer is option C, synapse. Point of contact where one neuron communicates with another is synapse. Next question. Vitamin required for blood clotting. Vitamin required for blood clotting. Option A, vitamin A. Option B, vitamin K. Option C, vitamin D. Option D, vitamin C. Vitamin required for blood clotting is vitamin K. Vitamin required for blood clotting is vitamin K. Which of the following statement is true about IgE in humans? Which of the following statement is true about IgE in humans? Option A, stimulation of mast cells related to allergic reaction. Option B, protection of body fluids. Option C, protection of mucous membranes. Option D, activation of B lymphocytes. Which of the following statement is true about IgE in humans? Correct answer option A, stimulation of mast cells related to allergic reaction. Which of the following statement is true about IgE in humans? Correct answer, stimulation of mast cells related to allergic reaction. Chromosomal disorder caused due to the presence of an additional copy of chromosome number 21. Chromosomal disorder caused due to the presence of an additional copy of chromosome number 21. Option A, Turner's syndrome. Option B, Klinefelter syndrome. Option C, Jacob syndrome. Option D, Down syndrome. The chromosomal disorder caused due to the presence of an additional copy of chromosome number 21 is option D, Down syndrome. Chromosomal disorder caused due to the presence of an additional copy of chromosome number 21 is Down syndrome. Which of the following does not belong to the phylum mollusca? Which of the following doesn't belong to the phylum mollusca? Option A, octopus. Option B, pila. Option C, hydra. Option D, chiton. Which of the following doesn't belong to the phylum mollusca? The answer option C, hydra. Hydra is not belong to phylum mollusca. Scientists who first explained that cells divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Scientists who first explained that cells divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Option A, Robert Brown. Option B, Theodor Schwann. Option C, Rudolf Virchow. Option D, M.J. Schleiden. Scientists who first explained that cells divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cell is option C, Rudolf Virchow. Scientists who first explained that cells divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cell is Rudolf Virchow. Next, pollination between two flowers of same plant is known as pollination between two flowers of same plant is known as option A, xenogamy. Option B, geitonogamy. Option C, autogamy. Option D, allogamy. Pollination between two flowers of same plant is known as geitonogamy. Option B, geitonogamy. Pollination between two flowers of same plant is known as geitonogamy. Next, scientific method of rearing honeybees is known as? Scientific method of rearing honeybees is known as? Option A, aquaculture. Option B, viniculture. Option C, apiculture. Option D, viticulture. Scientific method of rearing honeybees is known as? Option C, apiculture. Scientific method of rearing honeybees is known as apiculture. Water Pollution Act was passed by Government of India in? Water Pollution Act was passed by Government of India in? Option A 1984, Option B 1982, Option C 1974, Option D 1972. Water Pollution Act was passed by Government of India in 1974. Answer option C 1974. Water Pollution Act was passed by Government of India in 1974. The formula to find maximum number of electrons in a shell is? The formula to find maximum number of electrons in a shell is? Option A 2n raised to 2, n raised to 2, C 2n raised to 3, D n raised to 3. The formula to find maximum number of electrons in a shell is? Option A 2n raised to 2. The formula to find maximum number of electrons in a shell is 2n raised to 2. The compound of hydrogen used as bleaching agent is? The compound of hydrogen used as bleaching agent is? Option A hydrogen sulfide, Option B hydrogen bromide, Option C hydrogen peroxide, Option D none of these. The compound of hydrogen used as bleaching agent is? Option C hydrogen peroxide. The compound of hydrogen used as bleaching agent. The compound of hydrogen used as bleaching agent is hydrogen peroxide. Next, alkanes are represented by general formula. Alkanes are represented by general formula. Option A CnH2n plus 2, B CnH2n, C CHN plus 2. Option D CnH3n. Alkanes are represented by general formula CnH2n plus 2. Alkanes are represented by general formula CnH2n plus 2. Next, colloid which contains particles of liquid or solid dispersed in gas. Colloid which contains particles of liquid or solid dispersed in gas. Option A emulsion, Option B aerosol, Option C foam, Option D none of these. Colloid which contains particles of liquid or solids dispersed in gas. The correct answer option B aerosol. Colloid which contains particles of liquid or solid dispersed in gas is aerosol. Next, acid used to identify the presence of protein. Acid used to identify the presence of protein. Option A carboxylic acid, Option B benzoic acid, Option C nitric acid, Option D phosphoric acid. The acid used to identify the presence of protein is Option C nitric acid. Acid used to identify the presence of protein is nitric acid. Next, which of the following is not an antibiotic? Which of the following is not an antibiotic? Option A penicillin, Option B aspirin, Option C amoxicillin, Option D ampicillin. Which of the following is not an antibiotic? Option B aspirin. Which of the following is not an antibiotic? Option B aspirin. Next, the polymer used in making plastic crockery. The polymer used in making plastic crockery. Option A Decron, Option B nylon, Option C bakelite, Option D melamine. The polymer used in making plastic crockery is Option D melamine. The polymer used in making plastic crockery is melamine. Next, the selective boiling and subsequent condensation of a component in a liquid mixture is known as. The selective boiling and subsequent condensation of a component in a liquid mixture is known as option A distillation, option B crystallization, option C sublimation, option D none of these. The selective boiling and subsequent condensation of a component in a liquid mixture is known as option A distillation. The selective boiling and subsequent condensation of a component in a liquid mixture is known as distillation. Next, planetary model of atom was proposed by option A Max Planck, option B Rutherford, option C John Dalton, option D Niels Bohr. The answer is option B Rutherford. Planetary model of atom was proposed by Rutherford. Planetary model of atom was proposed by Rutherford. Next question. The distribution of light energy when two or more light waves superimpose to each other is called. The distribution of light energy when two or more light waves superimpose to each other is called option A interference, option B reflection, option C diffraction, option D diffraction. The distribution of light energy when two or more light waves superimpose to each other is called option A interference. Interference. The distribution of light energy when two or more light waves superimpose to each other is called interference. Next. Length of Westergren's ESR tube is option A 300 mm, option B 200 mm, option C 100 mm, option D 50 mm. Length of Westergren ESR tube is option A 300 mm. Length of Westergren ESR tube is 300 mm. Next, power of lens is measured in. Power of lens is measured in option A candela, option B diopter, option C ampere, option D none of these. Power of lens is measured in option B diopter. Power of lens is measured in diopter. Next, a projectile travels the farthest when it is launched at an angle of. A projectile travels the farthest when it is launched at an angle of option A 25 degree, option B 35 degree, option C 45 degree, option D 55 degree. A projectile travels the farthest when it is launched at an angle of option C 45 degree. A projectile travels the farthest when it is launched at an angle of 45 degree. Law associated with the polarization of light. The law associated with the polarization of light is option A Snell's law, option B Brewster's law, option C Newton's law, option D Pascal's law. The law associated with the polarization of light is option B Brewster's law. The law associated with the polarization of light is Brewster's law. Next, a coil of insulated wire wound on a rod-shaped form made of solid iron is called. A coil of insulated wire wound on a rod-shaped form made of solid iron is called option A toroid, option B paranoid, option C solenoid, option D sphenoid. A coil of insulated wire wound on a rod-shaped form made of solid iron is called option C solenoid. A coil of insulated wires wound on a rod-shaped form made of a solid iron is called solenoid. Next, nuclear reactor was discovered by option A, Enrico Fermi, option B, Henry Becquerel, option C, Rutherford, option D, Thomas Edison. Nuclear reactor was discovered by option A, Enrico Fermi. Nuclear reactor was discovered by Enrico Fermi. Next question. Bacteria possessing more than one flagellum at one or both the poles. Bacteria possessing more than one flagellum at one or both the poles. Option A, atricate. Option B, lophotricate. Option C, peritricate. Option D, monotricate. Bacteria possessing more than one flagellum at one or both the poles is option B, lophotricate. Lophotricate. Bacteria possessing more than one flagellum at one or both the ends is lophotricate. Next question. Ziehl Neelsen stain is also called Ziehl-Neelsen stain is also called option A, Gram stain, option B, capsular stain, option C, Albert stain, option D, acid fast stain. Ziehl-Neelsen stain is also called option D, acid fast staining. Ziehl-Neelsen stain is also called acid fast stain. Next, culture method used for isolation of bacteria in pure culture from clinical specimen. Culture method used for isolation of bacteria in pure culture from clinical specimen. Option A, streak culture. Option B, lawn culture. Option C, stab culture. Option D, poke plate culture. Culture method used for isolation of bacteria in pure culture from clinical specimen. Option A, streak culture. Correct answer, option A, streak culture. Culture method used for isolation of bacteria in pure culture from clinical specimen is streak culture. Next, standard reference method for cholesterol estimation. Standard reference method for cholesterol estimation. Option A, CHOD, POD method. Option B, Zach's method. Option C, Abel-Kendall method. Option D, Sackett's method. The standard reference method for cholesterol estimation is option C, Abel and Kendall method. Standard reference method for cholesterol estimation is Abel and Kendall method. Next question. Commonly used microtome in laboratories. Commonly used microtome in laboratories. Option A, vibrating microtome. Option B, rotary microtome. Option C, cryostat. Option D, rocking microtome. Commonly used microtome in laboratories is option B, rotary microtome. Commonly used microtome in laboratories is rotary microtome. The most accurate and precise method for estimating protein is option A, Burette method, option B, Ziehl method, option C, Lowry's method, option D, spectrophotometric method. The most accurate and precise method for estimating protein is Ziehl method. Option B, Ziehl's method. The most accurate and precise method for estimating protein is Ziehl's method. Next, Storage of excess glucose as glycogen is known as option A glycogenesis, option B glycogenolysis, option C glycolysis, option D gluconeogenesis. The storage of excess glucose as glycogen is known as option A glycogenesis. Storage of excess glucose as glycogen is known as glycogenesis. Next, fasting blood glucose less than dash is normal. Fasting blood glucose less than dash is normal. Option A 120, option B 110, option C 100, option D 130. Fasting blood glucose less than dash is normal. Option C 100. Fasting blood glucose less than 100 is normal. Frozen RBC can be stored up to. Frozen RBC can be stored up to. Option A 5 years. Option B 2 years. Option C 10 years. Option D 20 years. Frozen RBC can be stored up to 10 years. Frozen RBC can be stored up to 10 years. Next, the chemical disinfectant Sidex is option A 2.4% glutaraldehyde, option B 70% isopropanol, option C 10% chlorohexidine, option D 5% phenol. The chemical disinfectant Sidex is option A 2.4% glutaraldehyde. The chemical disinfectant Sidex is 2.4% glutaraldehyde. Which of the following is not a liver function test? Which of the following is not a liver function test? Option A bilirubin, option B creatinine, option C albumin, option D alkaline phosphatase. Which of the following is not a liver function test? Option B creatinine. Which of the following is not a liver function test? Creatinine. Next, instrument used for measuring turbidity. Instrument used for measuring turbidity. Option A, potentiometer. Option B, cytometer. Option C, nephelometer. Option D, none of these. Instrument used for measuring turbidity. Option C, nephelometer. Instrument used for measuring turbidity is nephelometer. Next, which of the following is a RBC diluting fluid? Which of the following is a RBC diluting fluid? Option A, Dassy's fluid. Option B, Rees-Ecker solution. Option C, Turk's fluid. Option D, Hingelmann's fluid. Which of the following is a RBC diluting fluid? Option A, Dassy's fluid. Which of the following is a RBC diluting fluid? Dassy's fluid. Next, who introduced agar as a solidifying agent in culture media? Who introduced agar as a solidifying agent in culture media? Option A, Robert Koch. Option B, Hesse. Option C, Juliana Petri. Option D, Louis Pasteur. Who introduced agar as a solidifying agent in culture media? Option B, Hesse. Who introduced agar as a solidifying agent in culture media? Answer, Hesse. Next, color of fibers after silver nitrate staining. Color of fibers after silver nitrate staining is option A red, option B black, option C blue, option D pink. Color of fiber after silver nitrate stain is black. Option B black. Color of fiber after silver nitrate stain is black. Next, Allen's procedure is used for option A capillary blood collection, option B arterial blood collection, option C venous blood collection, option D urine collection. Allen's procedure is used for option B arterial blood collection. Allen's procedure is used for arterial blood collection. Next, ideal anticoagulant for hematology analysis. Ideal anticoagulant for hematology analysis. Option A heparin, option B trisodium citrate, option C EDTA, option D double oxalate. Ideal anticoagulant for hematology analysis is EDTA. Option C EDTA. Ideal anticoagulant for hematology analysis is EDTA. A hemogram is composed of option A number and size of cells, B size and shape of cells, C staining intensity of cells, option D none of these. A hemogram is composed of option A number and size of cells. A hemogram is composed of number and size of cells. Next, most urinometers are generally calibrated at dash temperature. Most urinometers are generally calibrated at dash temperature. Option A 30 degrees Celsius, option B 15 degrees Celsius, option C 20 degrees Celsius, option D 40 degrees Celsius. Most urinometers are generally calibrated at option B 15 degrees Celsius. Most urinometers are generally calibrated at 15 degrees Celsius temperature. The last question. Reagent used in Colloid reaction. Reagent used in Colloid reaction. Option A met dinitrobenzene. Option B periodic acid. Option C nitrosonaphthol. Option D phenol. The reagent used in Colloid reaction is option D phenol. Reagent used in Colloid reaction is phenol. Reagent used in Colloid reaction is phenol.